There are anime that make the headlines, and then there are anime that make an impact. They don't get the spotlight, they don't flood your feed, but once you experience them, they stay with you forever. These are the underrated masterpieces, the shows that dared to go deeper, think bigger, and hit harder, only to be forgotten by the masses. Today, we dig them up. 6 hidden gems you probably missed, but won't ever forget. Monster. One of the most chilling psychological thrillers ever animated, and barely anyone talks about it. Monster follows Dr. Kenzo Tenma, a brilliant surgeon who saves a young boy's life, only to discover that the boy grows up to become a cold-blooded killer. That's the hook. But what follows is 74 episodes of pure moral agony. As Tenma abandons everything to stop the monster he once saved, the anime forces you to ask, is doing the right thing always right? Johan, the antagonist, isn't a typical villain. He's calm, elegant, terrifying. He doesn't kill because he wants to. He kills because he wants others to destroy themselves. Each episode peels back another layer of human nature, revealing the darkness we all carry and how easily it can be triggered. By the end, you're not just chasing a monster, you're chasing the idea that one good deed could unleash pure evil. Kaiba. It looks like a kid's cartoon, but don't let the art style fool you. Kaiba is one of the darkest, deepest anime ever made. The setup is simple, but chilling. In the future, memories can be transferred between bodies. You can upload your mind, erase pain, and even become someone else. Sounds like freedom, right? Wrong, because this world is brutal. The rich buy new bodies. The poor are discarded like trash. And our protagonist, he wakes up with a hole in his chest and no memory of who he is. Every episode, he swaps bodies, traveling through a world where love, pain, and identity are all commodities. But through it all, the real question emerges. If your body and memories can change, what part of you is real? What starts as sci-fi becomes a philosophical gut punch about what makes us human and what happens when humanity becomes optional. By the end, you're not just watching Kaiba's journey, you're questioning if you'd survive in a world that doesn't value you. The Tatami Galaxy. Ever felt like you were living the same mistakes over and over again? That's the entire premise of the Tatami Galaxy, a chaotic, fast-talking, reality-bending journey through college life where time loops are normal and self-destruction is routine. We follow an unnamed protagonist as he repeatedly chooses a new college club, hoping this time he'll find the perfect campus life. But every path leads to loneliness, chaos, and regret. Each episode resets reality with only slight differences, but those differences ripple into totally unpredictable outcomes. It's Groundhog Day meets existential dread, animated like a fever dream. But here's the twist. The deeper you go, the more you realize. He's not stuck in time, he's stuck in himself. Behind the visual madness and rapid-fire dialogue is something real. The universal fear of wasted time, missed chances, and the illusion that the next choice will finally fix everything. By the end, it's not just about escaping the loop, it's about accepting yourself. Rainbow. Nisha Rokubou no Shichinin. This is not an easy watch, but it's one of the most rewarding. Rainbow throws you into a 1950s Japanese juvenile prison with 7 teenage boys, each accused of a different crime. What they endure there is brutal. Beatings, humiliation, and complete dehumanization. But that's not what defines them. What defines them is how they survive it, how they protect each other, how they refuse to let their spirits break, even when their bodies do. This isn't just a prison drama, it's a story about brotherhood, about clinging to hope in a world that's trying to bury you. Each boy carries trauma, and each finds purpose through shared pain. What starts as a tragedy becomes a revolution of the human spirit. It's gritty, it's gut-wrenching, and by the end, it'll leave you with something most anime don't: real-world courage. Aoi Bungaku Series. This isn't a series, it's 6 psychological autopsies disguised as anime. Aoi Bungaku adapts some of the darkest works in Japanese literature, stories about self-destruction, obsession, and fractured identity. Each arc is a standalone descent into the mind of someone unraveling. In one story, a man tries to live a double life just to feel loved. In another, an artist is haunted by his own reflection. Another follows a criminal whose conscience tears him apart from the inside. It's haunting, poetic, and painfully human. The art style shifts with each story, reflecting the characters' psyches. Some episodes are grotesque, others are surreal, all of them emotionally devastating. You don't just watch Aoi Bungaku, you experience it, and you leave with scars. Haibane Renmei. It feels like a slice of life, but there's something off, something hollow. Haibane Renmei opens in a peaceful town where winged beings, Haibane, live simple lives, bound by quiet rules and surrounded by high walls they can never cross. Raka, our main character, is born into this world from a cocoon with no memory of her past life. And that's where the unease begins, because the longer she lives in this purgatory-like place, the more questions surface. Who were the Haibane before they arrived? Why are they punished for sins they can't remember? And what happens when they finally move on? This isn't an anime about answers. It's about reflection, loss, guilt. Redemption is the kind of show that whispers instead of shouts, that lingers in your chest days after you finish it, like a quiet grief you can't name. By the end, you realize the show wasn't telling you a story. It was guiding you through a ritual of healing for both the characters and yourself. These are the ones that slip through the cracks, the ones that demand more from you, but give back so much more in return. If you've watched any of these, you already know. And if you haven't, it's time to experience storytelling that was never meant to be mainstream. It was meant to be meaningful. Drop your favorite underrated anime in the comments. Let's build a watch list that actually matters. Like, subscribe, turn on the bell, because this channel is for the real ones.